glass. We're going forward.
Oh, I missed the 2 glass.
Oh yeah, I suppose somebody else is pouring it in
Hold on, here. Let me get
Let's go ahead and put this
I see Georgie's card.
They're gonna go flying.
I know.
It's kind of interesting. Narrow gauge usually wasn't good on passenger.
Nope. He's probably taught to do too much passenger traffic.
But look, smoke.
They only owned a couple of coaches.
Smoke.
4 or 5.
It's hard to see.
That's how I draw that.
But there's a hat,
Some of them
and
are missing up there.
it had the name of the train.
I thought she was.
I think it was the name of the train. I really like this. Now shut the doors.
Oh, they went away. Get my George with George.
Jackets? This isn't a tug, but it sure feels like it.
Tickets.
How you guys doing, all right?
Tickets. Yeah, we can
That's all right, we got you now. Thanks, sir.
Oh, look, there goes the car.
place on it.
Yep.
With the piano, that's what I like.
White fish plate.
Huh?
I saw a white fish plate, George. Side of the track, a fish plate, but plate.
What's the music?
I guess they come in with the cars.
Oh, they did a really nice job with the picnic area.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I remember this.
So what did you stand up?
By the way, they extended the reversing track back a little bit.
I remember this.
Is this the Y?
Yeah,
this is
yep.
the Y.
This is the first Y.
The Essex Railroad had a Y too, but we didn't ride the Y.
That was a fast trip.
Essex Railroad had a Y too, but we didn't ride the Y. They only did locomotive using it.
I have a question.
Put the locomotive back on the other side of the track.
I have a question.
But
So, how did they turn? Does the train have like a lever to turn?
back up.
Yeah. I'm going now.
Well, this is Colgate Grove. This is where we have our picnic area. It's also where we turn our engine around, or train around, I should say. So we're coming forward on the main track. We're going to back up on the place, spur, go forward again on another piece of track. That'll put us right back out on this main line. But now the engine will be facing town. The folks on the left will get to see the pretty little weeds the folks on the right looked at. And the folks on the right will get to see the pretty little weeds the folks on the left looked at coming down. We got a lot of new stuff and old stuff around here. The engine is pulling us was built in 1916 by Bolton Locomotive Works in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was built on order for East Broadcast. So it was spent its whole life here. From 1916 to 1956 it ran on this line. In 56 the railroad shut down and that one was never used in tourist service till this year. We redid the engine, have it back in service. As contrast, the coach you're in and the other two coaches behind us are brand new coaches. These were built last year, year before last. These were built brand new for us out in Washington State, brought the whole way back across the country on truck and put into service here for us. These are not restorations, but rather reproductions. They're made so that we can get some wear and tear off of our vintage equipment. We also have our new picnic pavilions, which were built this year, and we're in the process right now of building track going south, so eventually you'll be able to come and take a train ride and go the other direction from the station. So I'm telling you all that to tell you this. Come back and see us. Every time you come back, there'll be something new to see, something new to experience. We hope you come back. And when you go back home, don't quit talking about us. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, as long as they come with a ticket in their hand, they're my buddy for the day. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
I think we got some musicians coming this way, gonna play for you in the coach. I don't know, that one guy's got a stand-up bass. I think it'd be a lot easier to have a harmonica, wouldn't it?
You lead the vote, I'll sing along.
Alright, we expect you all to sing along on this one.
Working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morn. Can you hear the railroad shouting? Dinah, blow your horn. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah, strumming on the old banjo. Fee-fi, filly-I-O, fee-fi, filly-I-O, fee-fi, filly-I-O, strumming on the old banjo.
from the Central Pennsylvania Ragtime American Music Festival here in town this weekend for a weekend of ragtime and rails here in Rockhill Furnace. I'm Andrew Green. On clarinet is Mr. Dan Levinson, and on banjo, Mr. TJ Muller, playing for your listening pleasure. If you like what you hear on here, imagine what you can do with a piano as well. We've got a whole bunch of great artists in town all weekend. They're doing concerts on the platform of the station for you for free. We've got a couple of formal concerts with new music at 2 o'clock today, a ragtime afterglow this evening up at a restaurant in Mount Union, and more concerts tomorrow. If you stop by the little platform on the station, we have a little booth there. You can learn a little bit more about the different concerts coming up, see the full schedule. We hope you'll be able to join us for some of that. And if not, you can at least appreciate some of the music we're playing for you today. Music from the 1920s, the teens, the aughts. Good music from a century ago that isn't played quite often enough. So with that, we should probably play number 2.
Now somebody stole my gal, and somebody stole my gal. Somebody came and took her away. She didn't leave and say she was leaving with those kisses I love so. He's getting now, I know. Well, gee, I know that she would come to me. She could only see a broken-hearted, lonesome guy. Somebody stole my gal.
I'm glad you have a radio in your car and you don't have to carry a 3-piece band with you.
A dead tree.
of the fields in the woods.
It's like a tent blew over.
Shade Gap branch where trolleys are, and then we're backing up, and then we're going back forward to the station.
So we want to do the trolley, get it all here then?
No,
Do the bitch leg off with the trolleys, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They said that.
And then they just
I think they're just turning the train around.
Yep.
Like back what they did back there. Come back. Wait for the people, George. Where's the museum at, George?
the whole place is the museum.
Oh. Cool. Place is small. Look, there's your trolley. Oh, got it right in the window. Okay. Hi. Smile, dude. That goes. Trolley.
What time's the next train ride? At 3 or are they doing another?
At 1 and 3. When they get more steam engines restored, then they can do more frequent trips.
I don't think they would let me anywhere. Oh, there's a trolley with a light on. Trolley. Is that green on a caboose?
Yeah, this is Penn Central Caboose.
Oh, I didn't think the caboose done.
You having fun? What do you think of all them trolley cars and stuff?
outside rails.
So he has to switch that one.
Because he's completely rusted out.
No, not entirely. I just want down here that is completely rusted out.
He's backing up
Good
again, right?
seams on this one.
That one's 3/4 But they placed an order for a bunch of hoppers.
So they have to back up 3.
Got 'em. And then they looked at them and said, "We can just make
This is the
these
second.
here." So they
Right?
did. They had a fleet of like 150 hoppers in it.
It's a bunch of angle iron.
Yeah.
That's supposed to track back.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, they're not spring-loaded tracks, so you have to keep setting them by hand.
There's a trap right there, right?
Yeah, this probably goes on this standard gauge.
Did you tell the ship that you came home with holes in your pants?
So where's the one he tripped?
Oh, yeah.
Or switched?
Go right in front of us.
Alright,
So we just went on that switch track. They had to switch it back because the trolley's going to have to go over. The trolleys go that way.
Yeah, I know that.
All at school? When you were outside?
Charlie.
The Kenton area.
Hi, people.
Yeah, these last couple of weeks they restored a bunch of hopper cars.
He said they did new picnic.
East Broadtop built many of the hopper cars themselves. They originally had wooden hoppers. What?
This track is this only?
This is narrow gauge.
Yeah, so they don't have it all.
Yeah.
What's this building?
It's a storage.
Look at all those nails there. You
Like
see that?
for trolleys.
Hot spikes, I guess is what they call them.
So you see they've been actively restoring the yard tracks, the rolling stock.
Is that what those are? That one.
That boxcar is in
That
bad
one's
shape.
box, the other two.
That
the
box
other
car is
one.
really good shape. Look, you see that?
Yeah.
Just on the bottom, rusted out.
And those are for when you get snow. Well, the one on that side.
So these Broadtop originally had wooden hoppers, but then they bought steel ones. They liked it so much they just made their own. They just copied them. They produce hundreds of hopper cars. Yeah.
How cold.
And they also added those little additions to add additional coal. These used to be like 2 bunker hoppers, but they modified them to be 3.
That one has a hole in it.
Oh yeah, they rust out.
That's probably why they're. See, there's another one. That's probably why they. There's another one. Have them sitting here because they probably can't use them.
Oh, they still run them.
Well, that one has. That
They
one's
just can't put coal in
completely.
them.
On the bottom, they have nothing on that one. See how the bottom's rusted out?
These tracks were all dug out fairly recently. They were
Yeah.
they were under the ground. You can see these tracks here where the ties are spaced out further. They will eventually replace the ties.
Oh yeah.
That's just for speeder operation.
Are they switching
They
this
got
one?
they got the tracks restored for about a little more than a mile that way. They
This
operate
one?
speeders.
Is this one getting switched? That,
Here's the switch that we were going to be switching on.
this one or that
And
one?
then right here's where they coaled the engines. This is the coaling bunker. They actually restored the track going up to the top and restored the shed that the hoppers park in.
Oh, I wanted to see him switch it. Oh, there's another one. That one looks like it needs new paint.
Yeah, the fire suppression system. Yeah.
Like, this is like the one that makes sense. Makes it avoid messing with
No, it's doing.
It's an interesting switch track design where the loops move the rail over.
Oh, that was common. It's the simplest way to build a switch.
Yep.
You don't need to do any complicated grind. Okay, yep,
That one?
yep.
That's the one he just switched, I think.
No, that's good.
So when they switch it, the whole track comes over.
Yep.
Or toll. Oh, I gotta order. Oh, back to the
Now, next to the hoppers.
See how much rust is in there? See? See?
guy that put the switch back gets back on the train.
Now they had to move forward, let the guy off to block the intercept or crossing, and pull in the station.
So they're standing up out there though, so. I can see the train though from here. Now on this side though, the snow thing.
There's the engine house to the left there, guys.
Yep.
And there's 5 other engines that they need to be stored. I wonder which one's the next one.
See the little green and red one? The M7?
Yeah, that's their diesel.
Oh, there's the little
Diesel oil is going to the yard.
What?
Yeah, I thought that was funny. They use the noun as a
Oil the diesel.
They use the noun as a verb. Diesel oiled his way into the city.
How old is he? 3. Okay. I was gonna say 2, but then I was like, no, I think he's a little older than that.
Yeah, this one here. Yeah, the train stopped.
Yeah? I think he's. How are the cars going through if the train?
The flagger goes out and flags. The cars stop.
I see the conductor on the side here. You see him, George?
He waves.
Wait, Doug. Oh, I can hear the piano. Like, what? Two people, not cars.
That's it.
For a little railroad like this, it would have been out in the middle of nowhere back in those days, but it was also, they were very self-sufficient. Not only did they do work for the railroad to maintain the equipment, but they did work for the brick plants up in Mount Union, plus the coal mines were a lot of that machine work was done here. They also did work for locals, farmers, and things to repair equipment and stuff in here. One of the last and most intact, probably largest belt-driven machine shops in the United States, if not the world. A lot of museums have collections of these things, and there are a few smaller machine shops out there that still exist, driven by overhead belts, but this is definitely the largest and probably most well originally preserved. Here, 1 second here. The entire complex, basically the heart of it was the two brick structure you see behind there. They're Babcock and Wilcox boilers. They were installed around 1910.
They provided, they were coal-fired, provided steam not only for the shop engine, but heated all these buildings, heated the station, and a handful of houses up on the hill for railroad management. You can see the radiators around the walls and things. Each one of these buildings had heat in it. A lot of the pipes went underground. And then behind the double doors over here, there is an electric steam-driven electric generator that they provided lighting and things before commercial electricity was available. So if you were a railroad supervisor or manager and lived in one of the company houses, you had free heat and free electricity at the time, courtesy of the company. Over time, a lot of these shops existed even up into the 60s and the 70s, and planing mills and different things. Most of them have been converted to electric drives for the belts. They're pretty hard to find probably a commercial shop today that has this type of overhead belted system in it. But they were very common up through that period, and nowadays it's just not a thing of the past. So all the pulleys and everything you see above us, all driven off of this main shop engine, which turns the main line shaft, which then feeds out to all what they call counter shafts. The longest shaft is this one here above my head, which is about 120 feet long from one end to the other. Fed line shafts went into the car shop, which is next to us, where all the woodworking equipment is. Unfortunately, we cannot go in there today. It's under reconstruction right now. But it also went underground into the blacksmith shop. So these belts went into multiple buildings, overhead, underground. You see the different size pulleys. A large pulley to a small pulley will increase the speed of the next pulley, the small one. A small one to a large one will decrease it, but it gives you more power. Above each machine, you'll see what's called a step pulley. It's kind of a cone-shaped pulley that has different size pulleys on that, which correspond to a step pulley on the machines. By changing the location of the belts, it could change the speed of which the machine fed. Each machine has its own belt with a clutch on it, or a drive and a slip pulley and a drive pulley. Lawrence will demonstrate that here in a minute when we get the engine running. As I mentioned, they were very self-sufficient. The conditions that you see in here today, this is about as well lit as it was. This is probably about how warm it was on a day like today. Summertime, it's not very cool in here, and in the wintertime, it's not very warm in here. So it would have been probably just warm enough to work. The majority of the guys that worked in here spent 30, 40 years. When the railroad closed in 1956. A lot of the guys that worked in the shop, as well as on the train crews, were all in their late 60s. There were a few younger guys, but not many. When they had 65 employees in here, it was basically one shift from what we can see. But there was a lot of apprentices. Almost every machine had, the machinists had their own apprentice. By the time in 1956, they had eliminated most of the apprenticeship. So most everybody in here, if you look at the records in the vaults in the station, you got to think at the terms of that. Everybody here, pretty much at the turn of the century, up into the 40s, had a 6th grade education when they came here to work. They, went to a one-room schoolhouse and came here to work, learned the trade, and spent most of their careers working in the shop. The belts, most of them are leather, and most of them are original. As far as I know, some of these could be well over 100 years old. They stay in very good condition as long as they don't get wet or extremely dry. We use neat's foot oil to treat them, to kind of give them their flexibility, and they last indefinitely as long as they're taken care of. The belt right here on the main, off the shop engine, is 72 feet long if you stretch it out. And it's about 12 inches wide and a little over a ½ inch thick. So there's about 7 layers of leather in that belt. And if you look at it, originally it was a seamless belt. So which means that there was no end to it. So they had craftsmen that would come in and literally could glue those laminations of leather in place, so there was no end to the belt. So if you get a rough idea how long a cow is, 12 inches wide, I'm sure there's quite a few cows that went into just that belt. But it still works, and as far as we know, that one is at least 70 or probably close to 80 years old. We have replaced a few of them with modern belts in places, because leather belts of that size is almost impossible to find, or you don't want to know what the price tag is. They started using canvas and rubber belts after World War II, so you do see some of those around, and they did buy a couple electric small drill presses and things after World War II as well, but nothing significant. At one point, Westinghouse was in here looking at a proposal to electrify it, and they opted not to do that. The shop engine itself, before we get to running it, was Came here secondhand, we think, from one of the iron furnaces down in Black Lodge Narrows. Probably predates the Civil War. So it's a very old engine. It's spent its entire lifetime in this shop for the most part since the railroad was built, constructed. We're running it off of compressed air right now. The boilers ran out of inspection in 1958. They didn't pass their inspection then, so I don't think they're going to pass now. We are looking for a modern boiler that we can use to run this in the future, but it runs pretty well off of air. Lawrence will demonstrate the wheel lathe in the back and how the machines are turned on and off. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. All I ask is that while you're walking around, you're going to want to look above your head at everything that's going on. Just don't forget you are in an old building with wooden floors. If you see somebody next to you that's going to back up into something, please stop them first. Just look out for the guy next to you. And everything in here is dirty or heavy, so just be forewarned that I recommend that you not touch anything, but if you bump into something, it will most likely be dirty. One last thing, the Friends, if you're not a member of the Friends of the East Broad Top, which is our volunteer organization that helps us out with everything, you can see up above us here all the new lumber and everything. That was a project that I was involved with about 15 years ago, and or 12 years ago or so, where we rebuilt the entire structure above the boilers and what you can see up here. I can tell you, if it was not for the Friends of the East Broad Top, these shop buildings would probably not be standing today. Over the last 20 years, they've put a lot of money, time, and effort into stabilizing them and putting them back the way they were. Just one of the recent projects, if you look, you can see white, light-colored roofing on in the boiler shop. That was a project that they funded that we literally just finished this week. So that was an area of the shop that had roof leaks in it for years, and today it is bone dry over there. So they do great things, and they're a good group of people to have in here work. If you feel like volunteering or want to come down, I guarantee you, if you get dirty once, you'll want to come back and do it again. But that's enough of me yakking. We'll run the engine. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and thank you for coming. So we do have one thing here. So we have the original shop whistle, which those old enough to remember being around any factories, they would blow the whistle at the beginning of the shift, at lunchtime, and at the end. So this is what you would have heard at the beginning of the day. I just ask that you stay out of this area right here when the engine's running, just for safety reasons. Yes.
So things would run a little bit more quickly in here, but it wouldn't be much noisy.